At 7:04. We're going to start item 1.1, call to order. I'm calling the meeting to order as mentioned 7:04. This is for the meeting of May the 18th, 2021, Altadena Town Council online virtual Zoom meeting. I'm going to move on to item 1.2 to roll call. Council Member Wong.
Hi, good evening, everybody. So we are going to be doing a roll call, started with Victoria Knapp.
Victoria Knapp has an excused absence.
Okay, Amy Lyford.
Here.
Thank you. Billy Malone.
Present.
Nick Arnzen.
Here.
Hannah Petrie.
Present.
Dr. Sandra Thomas.
Present.
Chris O'Malley.
Here.
Veronica Jones. Where's Veronica?
Here.
Daryl Aranda.
Hello.
Hi, Daryl. Madeline Barber. Miss Barber here?
Don't see her. If the council members that please turn on your camera for the voting for the roll call so we can actually see you here. I see some people without their cameras on. We can turn the camera off later, but I know.
Okay, I don't see Madeline. Alan Peck.
Here.
Thank you. Reginald Wilkins.
Present.
Doug Cauliflower.
Here.
Sylvia Vega.
Here.
Thank you. Diane Marcussen.
Here.
And myself. So that's 14, I believe. Victoria is excused, right? And then we're missing Madeline.
Okay.
Anything else?
Right. Nope, that's it.
Maddie says she's on the way. She's having some minor computer problems. She'll be here in a second.
Understood. Okay. So we'll put it down as a late, right, Dorothy? Okay, awesome. All right, moving on. Item 1.3, the approval of the May 18th meeting agenda. Council Member Jones. You're on mute, Veronica.
Good evening. We just saw the agenda. It was up in front up on the screen just a second ago, and everybody received it ahead of time. Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions, but I do want to mention, I know there was an addition late that was sent in via email for from Council Member Knapp for her census tract report. As she's not here, and it was a last minute thing, she did inform me, and she's going to try and get me the information that she was going to announce. So I might be doing that report at the end.
Okay, so it is on the agenda.
It is still on the agenda, even though she's not here. I just want to clarify.
Okay. All right. So I make a motion that we accept the agenda as presented to us tonight. Can I have a second?
A second.
Okay, Alan for second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? So moved, unanimous. Okay, I have a couple of, we're going to move on to item 2, officers report. We're going to start with the chairman's report 2.1, which is my report. I just wanted to mention a couple of things. One, we were just discussing before this meeting. We did have questions from people regarding when we're going to go back to live meetings, especially when the state says they're opening up on June the 15th. However, our location is the community center, but from what we're understanding at this particular moment, the county will not be looking at opening the community center and staffing it and having it available till closer towards the end of the year. So as of right now, we will be continuing our meetings via Zoom until otherwise we know more information. The second thing I want to mention is that after losing Nick on the Santangelo on the executive committee, we have been without a recording secretary. there are only a handful of people on the council who are eligible to be recording secretary, because you have to be, according to our bylaws, a minimum of 1 year on the council. I did reach out to the only person I believe that's not on a committee, and that was Reggie Wilkins, because he's the only one that's not currently on a committee, but he hasn't gotten back to me. So I'm hoping that Reggie might be able to step up to the plate. Otherwise, we're going to have to take other actions, and we're going to have to do what we do with land use and maybe assign it to different people. Taking minutes, I mean. Okay, I'm going to move on. Item 2.2, Vice Chairman, Councilmember Jones.
Good evening again, community and council members. It's been 14 months since we had to reevaluate how we were going to continue our daily lives during a pandemic. We stocked up on toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and masks. You find facts about our town of Altadena and how we managed the pandemic. Number one, there was a collaboration between the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Day One, and the Altadena Town Council that brought COVID testing to Altadena. Over 13,000 tests were administered. Number two, the Altadena Library started curbside pickup, serving over 4,000 curbside deliveries of over 13,000 items checked out from our Altadena Library. I'm sure I checked out 130 of those. But number three, the Altadena Senior Center served over 400 senior meals sponsored by Alta Eats and 900 meals to our Altadena homeless. Number four, the town council felt the strong need to continue to communicate with the community and was able to quickly adapt and continue its meetings during these 14 months. I am proud to say, with the help of the Altadena Library, Pasadena Media, our meetings have continued. Other councils in other towns were not able to adapt as quickly. Number five, as of May 7th, 64% of Altadena is vaccinated, for a total of 23,000 Altadena residents. I am proud to say Altadena is resilient and strong when we are working together. Let's keep moving forward, and I can't wait to see all of you in person sometime this year. That concludes my remarks this evening.
Thank you, Councilmember Jones. And I just want to say that is something that our council should be very proud of. In the first month of the shutdown, there was an article in the LA Times talking about all the town councils and the city council, how they were no longer able to have meetings, and the community had no way to do outreach. And as far as I know, we were the only council that didn't miss a beat, because we didn't cancel. We made it happen. We partnered with the library and others. And the first one was very juggy, but we got through and we adapted very quickly. So I'm proud of everybody for being, from my understanding, the only council in LA County that was able to do that without missing a beat. So thank you, everybody. Okay, moving on. Item 2.3, recording secretary. It's going to be read by Councilmember Marcussen today.
Hi, yes, I sent the meeting minutes out for review, and I did not get any changes back. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes as distributed.
Second.
Second, Darrell. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those against say nay. Any abstentions? No abstentions. Unanimous. And I also want to ask again, before we move on to that, recording secretary, we need someone to take minutes. And Reggie, if you can get back to me on the...
I'm doing it for tonight, remember, Billy?
Yes, tonight, Councilmember Marcussen is, but moving forward for the next few months until the election comes, I'm looking for somebody else. So we need somebody else to take on that. So, all right, moving on. Item 2.4, Treasurer's Report, Councilmember Marcussen.
Yes, as of April 28th, we have $1,866.54 in the account. We do pay GoDaddy $9.99 a month, And we also, the check for $100 to the production company, Steve, what was his last name? Steve, cleared as well. So we have $1,866.54. So we have another check that's outstanding that should come in this month.
Okay, is that it?
Yep.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on. Item 2.5, corresponding secretary's report. Councilmember Wong.
Thank you very much. So I will just go right into the events list in May. I posted a variety of events coming up. So some highlights on May 19th, which is tomorrow. We will be, it's Eaton Canyon Information Meeting. This is LA County, and it will be information on the new operational plan for Eaton Canyon. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Thursday, 5/20, SCE Wildfire Safety Community Meeting will be at 6 p.m. I have links on the website and on the latest blog post. We also have LA County Sanitation District in partnership with LA County Public Works on 5/22. That's Saturday from 9 to 3 is the Household Hazardous and Electronic Waste Roundup, including batteries. So check that out. The link is on the website. Also on that same evening is Thorns on a Rose, if you'd like to see that, supporting. Also on 5/23, Altadena Heritage Golden Poppy Awards is at 4 o'clock on Sunday. On Monday is the library board meeting, I think, but you'll learn about that. Tuesday, May 25th, the ACONA meeting. That is information. These are actually really important as we lead into the Memorial Holiday weekend and we transition into summer. So this will also have Southern California Edison, David Guzman on vegetation management, David Ford with SCE. We will also have LA County Public Works on parking enforcement in Altadena. And then our third topic will be drought, and that will be Lincoln Avenue, Jennifer Betancourt Torres with Lincoln Avenue Water. So we got a really busy end of the month before Memorial Day. And then we have 2 Red Cross blood drives, one on 5/20 and one on 5/27. Red Cross blood drive, Altadena Senior Center, and also at the Sacred Heart Church. And then I have also linked in the Owen Brown Gravesite Committee meeting on 5/27. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much, Councilmember Wong. We're going to move on to item 3, public safety reports. And we're going to start off with California Highway Patrol with Officer Jeremy Keller.
Hello, all. Good evening. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. How's everyone doing? First off, I'll start off with the traffic collision reports for the Altadena area. In the month of April, we've had 17 traffic collisions, 6 of those being traffic collisions with injuries, and there's 1 hit and run. I believe that's a lower number than last month, which is always good. As you can see, I have Officer Boyd with me here today. He's part of the COPS team as well. I'll be sending out his email as well as my email for you guys to send any issues or complaints you guys have. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have. We are going to be doing some SUs in and around Altadena. We're having a lot of complaints with the school zones, with people not paying attention to signs, just driving without thinking first. So we'll be out and about, so please drive safe and cautiously. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email. We'll be happy to reach out to you. Lastly, I'm sure everyone's heard all the freeway shootings with what we're assuming is BB guns. The captain at my office, Captain Moulton, just wanted me to advise everybody the safety precautions. Just be aware when you're driving. I know everyone uses cruise control, usually on a phone call or doing something that might distract a little bit, but be vigilant, stay focused on the roadway. If you are involved in something, be aware of your surroundings, look for your off ramps, and if you see something, say something. Feel free to call 911, report anything you see. That's happening all over any freeway. So any questions for you guys that you guys
Any
have?
questions from the council? I see no hands over. Okay.
And once
Well,
again,
good, thanks.
Officer Boyd, he's going to be assisting me with the cops' duties. He just started this month, and hope we can help out.
Thank you, and thank you for coming. We're so used to Officer Cooper, so we really appreciate you coming, Officer Keller, and taking your time to come and give us updates. So we really appreciate that. We look forward to seeing you again next month.
My pleasure. I can't wait to meet in person.
Okay, good. Hopefully it won't be too much longer.
All right.
All right, thank you. Moving
Is
on.
Officer Wong is he gonna stay sideways? He's sideways.
I'll work with him on that.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Okay. All right, moving on. Item 3.2, the Altadena Sheriff Station, Lieutenant Mark Scaggs.
Do I look funny on your video to you guys?
You look
Yes.
real funny.
I look like some sort of special effect. I don't know what happened.
You have your
Yeah,
green
it-
screen.
It
Green
was fine earlier, I saw, but right
I
now,
know. It went weird on me. I'm growing a white beard. Let me stop my video and restart it. There we go.
there we go. I like the white beard though.
Yeah. In a few years from now, I'll be tired. I'm gonna grow one of those. It's the first thing we do. So overall, in Altadena, crime is still somewhat trending down. Compared to this time last year, which is through the end of April, overall, we're down just about 10% Part 1 crimes. That's actually a good comparison compared to some of the previous meetings we've had, because this is the first sort of COVID month we've had. So it's still, before we were saying, well, we're 25% down on this and that. Well, that's because there's nobody out doing bad things. There's no victims running around to get robbed. So this is a pretty good indication of realistically, I think, where we stand. The violent crimes in particular have been down, other than we had that, I wasn't here last month, but back in March, obviously we had that awful double murder, March 22nd. However, it was a family issue. It was all family members involved, and there was no danger to the community on that. But our biggest issue, though, remains theft from vehicles, vehicle burglaries, grand theft from vehicles, and larceny from vehicles. There's no real pattern other than to say most people are making it way too easy for the thieves. They're leaving valuables in plain sight. We literally have people went for a hike and left their purse on her front seat. She's just kind of asking for it, unfortunately, and got her purse stolen. A lot of gardening equipment, and we still have also the issue of catalytic converter theft, primarily from some of your older vehicles, especially Toyota Prius. The older Prius have, my understanding is they're targeted because of the amount of precious metals that's in their particular catalytic converters. And most of them, in that cases, they're being parked on the street. So if you know anybody, see anybody, let your constituents know. If you have one of those things, an older Prius going back from about 2008 or prior, especially, park it up in your driveway. It seems a lot less likely to be targeted. We have made a few arrests here and there regarding possession of those, what we know are stolen catalytic converters. But the hard part is it's almost impossible to match it up to a car and to a victim. Except we did, Crescenta Valley Station had a really good luck. They had a, we call it like an etch and catch, we call it. They carved the license plate number of the catalytic converter or the car to the catalytic converter, and it was stolen, and a Glendale officer happened to stop the guy, and they were able to match that one up to a victim. So at least now we have a victim, so they can proceed with a prosecution of that one. But that's the rare, unfortunately, the rare victory for us. It's pretty tough to catch those guys unless we catch them in the act. Don't have a lot else. I know, Dorothy, we talked about the parking issues up in the trailheads up there. I think tomorrow's meeting, I hope, shed some light on what they're going to do over Eaton Canyon. Because if they go back to sort of a normal schedule, I think that'll ease the pressure on, the Cobb Estate and of course the Cheney Trailhead, and get some of those people to go back over there. I hope. But we're gonna have we can discuss this more tomorrow. But we're still going to stay after patrolling that area up there, doing the parking citations as we can and parking enforcement as we can. We're limited until we get something done about some of those turnouts out there, because it's not illegal to park them, at least not right now. And we did actually try, one of my deputies, we had a few extra bodies the other night, and so they did a little incognito thing and posed as hikers, and we're hoping to catch somebody up there breaking into cars, but they didn't catch anybody breaking into cars, but they did actually see someone who literally left their purse on the front seat of their car, which is, again, we got to educate everyone to lock up your valuables and don't leave anything visible. If you're leaving your car, lock it up somewhere. No questions?
Any questions from the council? Councilmember Jones?
I just want to know, we don't get our reports anymore for our census tract.
Oh, you know what? That must be my fault. I didn't know you needed those. I have those. I didn't know you guys needed them though. I can send it. I'll get those sent out. I will say this: my crime analyst just had a baby last week, so I'm going to be a little late for basically April's and May's. So as soon as she gets them, I should have the prior like March and February before Captain Jacobs left.
Yeah, thank you.
Sounds good. I just have one quick question. You were talking about the catalytic converters.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a really good idea and a good way to, to protect yourself. If a criminal sees an etching on it, maybe they're less likely to cut it off too. Is that something you can go do at your local shop? Do you know?
I don't know. We actually, our Walnut station did it, our Crescenta Valley station did it, and we checked into it, and we actually talked to one like some of the local muffler shops, and they were all really skeptical because there's such heat down there. They thought that the etching would just basically warp out, if that makes any sense. So I don't know. Maybe they got lucky on this one that it didn't have much use. I really don't know. But yeah, you can just get under with they just use plain old, like little metal etchers you can buy at Home Depot, and they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah. Anything. Anything.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. No more questions. Thank you very much, Lieutenant Scaggs. I'm assuming the Captain Jacobs will still be out for a while, so we'll be seeing you next month.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks again.
All right.
Councilmember Wong, you had a question?
Yeah, thank you. I had one thought which has left me, but I know that Amigos de los Rios is doing some replanting in front of the sheriff's station. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
So
Yes,
I think another planting, right, coming up?
I usually kind of email me, hey, we're coming this weekend to do something. So that's about what I get. But yeah, they've teamed up with a young lady who's a Girl Scout, and I don't know, I was Cub Scout, we had merit badges, something along those lines. And I think it's something called a life project, something that's going to go on and on and on, that she's trying to earn her merit for. And so it's kind of her deal to help plant this kind of stuff. We had some inmate workers come down to help us clear out some of the main brush, and they've been over doing plantings here and there when they can, usually just like on a Saturday morning.
I see. Hey, I remember my question now. So I attended the CERT meeting.
Okay.
And maybe this is something that just needs to get talked about, not in this meeting, but I just wanted to bring it up that we were the county has a new emergency management sort of document for the public. And so we were kind of talking about, do we have CERT on our schedule today? I don't think so. So we were talking about radio and sort of thinking about evacuation, where we would be setting up. And what was brought up was that we're missing a key cog from the sheriff's department now that helps out with communications. So maybe that was, our normal deputy.
Are you talking about Deputy Liberta?
Right, but he's not doing that role anymore. So they,
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
yeah. So the CERT group was very concerned that we're missing such a key cog within communications as it relates to, you know, having to react quickly for an emergency. So I'm bringing
Okay.
that out. And then the other thing is I just want to accommodate because the other amazing organization we have is Altadena Search and Rescue, which some, you know, is also sort of seems like it's connected and doing great things, but yet disconnected because of perhaps budget and so forth. But those are just two key elements that we really need to support.
Yeah, in fact, I'm glad you brought up the search and rescue because they just purchased, or kind of donated, a new truck. And there's a process by which they sell it to the county for $1. But it's incumbent now upon the search and rescue team to outfit the truck with their winches and all their rescue gear and such. But they also have to pay for the light bar. And they're a little concerned about that. I don't know, maybe we can talk about helping them out some way, shape or form. I'm really not sure. This is off the top of my head because it just came up today, but they're trying to figure out a way to fund that. The county, even though I know we have a bunch of light bars, they won't pay for it to go on the car, but we'll give them all the electronics and stuff that go inside, like our computers and stuff. For some reason, they won't give them a light bar though. Makes it a little bit weird. But yeah, they were very busy. I think they had 3 call outs this weekend, including they were helping I think Montrose Search and Rescue. There's been a missing hiker up there for he's up there for now maybe 3 days, which is not a good sign. He's a 58-year-old man. So yeah, they were very busy. And it's going to get, you know, like you said, it's coming the summertime, and it's just going to get worse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any more questions before we move on? No more questions. Thanks again, Lieutenant Scaggs. I really appreciate your time, and see you next month.
Not a problem. Good night.
Okay, moving on. Item 4, we're going to move on to special presentations. And as everybody knows, I just want to verify is that with presentations.
Fire. You forgot fire.
Oh, sorry. 3.3, Altadena Fire. Sorry. Maria Grycan, I do apologize.
Oh, no problem. I'm here. Okay, so I've got your statistics for the month of April. And let's see, we had a total of 299 responses in Altadena. 234 of those were for medical calls, and we transported 189 patients. We had 3 fires. The first one was on April 2nd on Altadena Drive, and it was, it seems like it was just a case of maybe emptying an ashtray when not all of the cigarette butts were completely out. And so it went into the trash can, and the trash can caught fire, and it ran up the exterior siding of the home. So the residents were able to put that out before we arrived, but they did call the fire department, as everyone should. Even if you put out your own fire, you should still call the fire department and let us just take a quick look around and make sure that nothing else is going to go wrong. On April 8th, we had a fire on Terrace Street, and this was it was an accidental fire. It was an electric air fryer that apparently the homeowners hadn't used for years and didn't even know it was there. But it still had oil in it, and it also had some food remnants still in it. And it was sitting on a cloth pad. And with the heat hitting it, the oil was heating up and the pad was heating up. And when it got hot enough, the glass of the air fryer broke, and it caused the oil to spill onto the pad, and then it ignited. So that did cause $5,000 worth of damage. And then we had, on April 9th, we had a structure fire. It was actually an exterior fire that then extended into a home and also 2 commercial occupancies. And I just realized that I did not put in the damages for that, nor did I give you a total. Just looking at that. The damages for that particular fire were $150,000 in property and $90,000 in contents. I will revise that, and I will shoot over to the group a revised report. I apologize for that. We had one instant, and that fire is under investigation by Sheriff's Arson. It was turned over to them. So I don't have any other information on it. We had a wires down on Wapello Street, and then we had 8 traffic collisions, 2 of which were versus pedestrian. And that is it, unless there's any questions.
Any questions from the council? No question? Okay, thank you very much, Maria. I really appreciate it, as usual, for coming and presenting.
Oh, no problem. And I did just want to say, I did notice that my chief, your chief, Chief Mackey, was able to join us tonight. So I don't know if he wanted to say anything, or I just wanted to give him that opportunity.
Absolutely. Chief Mackey?
Just wanted to say good evening to everyone, and let me see if I can, I'm out here taking a walk, so put myself on camera here. So just wanted to say good evening, and looking forward to the upcoming nice weather in the report.
All right. Thank you. All right. Several people are waving hi. Or is that questions anybody has?
I have a question.
Okay.
For Chief Mackey. Hi, Chief.
How are you?
Looks like a good walk.
Yeah, nice day.
Yeah, so obviously we've been having a lot of fires these past couple weeks, especially. So I don't know if you have any words of wisdom. Again, we're actually a month away from 4th of July again. We're having a meeting on June 2nd in the Cheney Trail community related to the gate procedure. So in general, is anything standing out to you in Altadena as we quickly approach the summer?
Nothing comes to mind other than, once again, we always recommend everybody, refer everybody to our website to look at the Ready, Set, Go video, just to be prepared. I know the winds are coming starting tomorrow and the next day, but I didn't see a whole lot of wind coming for Altadena. As far as your meeting about the gate, if you send me the information on that, I'll be happy to attend.
Yeah, Chief, I just got that information, so I will forward it to you. I just got it, and I just responded to Dorothy that we would participate, and I would get details later.
Thank you.
All right.
Any other questions?
Let me see. Any more questions for Chief Mackey? Nope. Okay. Thank you very much for coming and spending the time this evening for us. So I really appreciate it. All right. Thank you very much. Moving on. And we're going to go to the community reports. We're going to start item 5, item 5.1, the Altadena Library. We do have 3 reports.
Wait, we got
presentations. We have 2 presentations. And just so you know, if you hear the buzzer, it's because we are trying to keep it with our time frames, but everyone is aware of that. So the reports are 10 minutes. If it goes over, you'll be giving. You just hear it and then just know that it is towards the end. And I'm not saying close exactly that time, but it's just a guide. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. In that, I'm going to move on. The first one is. It's actually item 4 is 4.1, the Altadena Library, with Viktor, and I know I mispronounced it incorrectly last time, so.
It's all good. It's all good. Good evening, everyone. My name is Viktor Sjöberg, and that's a Swedish last name for those of you that are unfamiliar. I'm the Assistant Library Director here in Altadena, and I'm happy to be here tonight. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about a program that we recently started called Read Local, Shop Local, but I wanted to start off by sharing a little bit more about what we've been up to here recently at the Altadena Library District. And I want to start by wishing you a happy belated National Library Week. I'm not sure if you're all familiar with this celebration, but it's an annual celebration that highlights the valuable roles that libraries play in their communities. And it's largely kind of an awareness campaign that focuses on the work that's being done and the resources that are available. And I think that's totally fine. But in a way, I've always also thought that it's been a little bit counterintuitive because it's almost like you're explaining the lack of usage by pointing to a lack of awareness. And it might actually be that the truth is that maybe our services are not relevant to everyone, and maybe we're not connecting with everyone. And so my best way of celebrating National Library Week is to look critically at the work that we're doing and the role that we play in our community, and allow ourselves to expand in new direction. And I'm happy to announce that as a part of this work, the ALTADENA Library District is currently one of the 14 libraries in the state working directly with the California State Library to design a new framework for summer programs in California libraries. So we are trailblazing here in Altadena, as we tend to do, and we're very happy about the work that we've been able to do so far. And this work of designing a new framework for summer programs is centered around equity. And I believe that in order to provide equitable library services, we have to move beyond any assumption of what our community needs or wants. And to do that, we need to have new people at the table to sit down with us, and we need time. And so we are actually taking a little bit of a break from our traditional like adult summer reading programs. We are doing it for teens and children, but we're instead for adult services, we're focusing on having conversations with people that have not traditionally participated in our programs, to try to figure out where they're at, to learn more about them, and to co-create new services together. So we're basically remixing our mission statement and focusing on bringing new people and new ideas together. And so what we're doing is we're setting an intention to connect with those that have not typically participated in our traditional reading programs. And some of the populations that we identified were the foster home youth, adults with developmental disabilities, individuals experiencing homelessness. We also saw that our Latinx community were not participating as much as we would hope that they would. Also indigenous people, millennials without children, and we also identified a niche demographic, which would be the Altadena Town Council members as well. We wanted to make sure that everyone's on board with summer services. So what our action is that's connected to that intention is to establish or deepen our relationships with organizations and individuals in the community that are actively working with the populations that we would like to learn more about. So in a sense, we're rethinking our role from being a producer or kind of like an idea factory, making assumptions about what the community would need, to being a listener and eventually a co-creator. And we find that this is a really great time to do that. With the pandemic, everyone is forced to kind of reset and recalibrate, as you have alluded to earlier in this meeting too. It's a good time to reach out to say, hey, I like what you guys are doing for the community. How are you doing? What are your challenges that you're facing currently? How can we build alignment and trust with each other instead of immediately trying to sell an idea or promote ourselves? How can we build a stronger relationship and then create something deeper from that? So I will share in the chat here in a moment some of the work that we've done so far. During National Library Week, we shared stories of organizations that we reached out to and talked to and build relationships with, because we felt that singing the praises of other organizations in the community and other work that's being done in the community, it's much more beautiful than tooting your own horn. One of the organizations, one of the individuals, I should say, that we're happy to connect with was the town council's own Nick Arnson, who has been running a diabetes prevention program through local faith-based organizations. And we're happy to announce that the library is working on a partnership with Nick to create new paths for personal transformation in a programming format that's very different from anything we've ever done here at the library. So that's one of the one of the things that have come out of this work. Another one is deepening our relationships with the little free libraries across the town. We're now in contact with most of the little free library stewards, and we're working with them to kind of utilize them as a network of literacy champions across the community. And we also see here, we have Born Family Services, foster home youth. We have Villa Esperanza, working with adults and youth with developmental disabilities. And of course, Union Station, working with those that are experiencing homelessness. So through these conversations, we have learned a lot more, and we are on our way to creating new services and new support for our community. And with that, I would like to introduce you to something different. This is Read Local, Shop Local. It's our latest community building initiative. It's something that I started when I was working in Escondido, California in 2016. And I'm really happy to be able to bring it to Altadena. It's a discount program that provides exclusive offers to customers who present their Altadena library card at participating businesses throughout the Altadena. And the program benefits businesses, library card holders, and the library, and it contributes to a more connected community. It's encouraging face-to-face interaction in an increasingly isolated society. And of course, a very important component is that it's also keeping our dollars circulating within Altadena, which of course now more than ever is extremely important. We started the program here in Altadena on April 5th, and we had 11 partners at that time. And at this point, we have over 20 businesses on board in this program. You can see on the screen here some of the benefits that the shoppers and the businesses and the community members are benefiting from, and also the power of the public library in terms of reaching the community, which is of course one of the things that is attractive to business owners that want to participate in this program. We have quite a reach here in Altadena, and you also have the goodwill of associating yourselves with a very trusted brand as the public library. And we are also happy to partner with the, we're also very happy to partner with the Chamber of Commerce on Read Local, Shop Local. And I also want to take this opportunity to reach out and hand to anyone that is interested to learn more about this work and how we might be able to work together, whether you are a business owner or you know someone that is, or if you're just an individual in the community that would like to learn more and talk about these kinds of things. And ultimately, this program is kind of a jump-off point to developing and deepening more community relationships. We are working with all of these businesses as a part of Read Local, Shop Local, but we're also looking for other ways to support them as well. And I'll be telling you during my monthly updates in a few minutes a little bit about how we're doing that. So by belonging to this network, we can learn more about each other and become more invested in our collective success. And I think that's when we are connected this way, I think we're all generally more successful. So I encourage you to take a look at our website, altadenalibrary.org/shoplocal, and make full use of your library card. And if you don't have a library card, you can come in. We're now open for in-person services. And we want to make sure that the businesses that are a part of this program really feel the impact of working with the Altadena libraries. And I thank you for your time and your support. And I'm open to any questions, of course, if you have any. Let's see, I think you're muted, Billy. Let's see. Yes, Amy.
So thank you for the presentation. It's nice to see such a wonderful list of businesses that are involved. You mentioned wanting to connect with new communities, and you mentioned actually connecting with the town council. Could you say a little bit more about your thoughts about how we might connect and support the work that we're all trying to do?
I think a lot of it has to do with just having conversations. And I think also you know, the kind of the jump off point for when we identified these demographics were basically like, who is not participating in like in a reading program, and who would we like to see participate? You know, obviously, you being leaders in our community, it means a whole lot to see people in leadership positions model behavior in a community. So if the council is actively involved in our programs and talking about the work that the library is doing, and also providing feedback as well, it's very valuable to us. And so you know, your areas, your census tracts more than we do sometimes, and so if we can all kind of pool together that collective knowledge, I think we're all better off for that.
Thank you.
Billy, I think you're muted still.
Thank you. Any more questions from the council? I don't see any more questions. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much, Viktor. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you coming, appreciate you doing the presentation. I am going, if Viktor's just posted the link on the chat, I noticed. I'm actually going to, we have another presentation coming on, which is item 4.2. I want to actually, and I do apologize about this, but it assumes this, currently we're having some IT issues, and the live stream stalled in YouTube. And so Passenger Media is going to reboot it for us. So if we can just take a 1 or 2 minute quick break. Okay, I got the go ahead. So we're going to move on now to item 4.2 with Metro LA Microtransit Pilot, presenter Monica Wagner. And thank you for coming, Monica.
Thank you so much for having me. We really appreciate this opportunity to share what's going on with this new program and this entirely new mode of transit for Los Angeles. So I have a little PowerPoint presentation. Let me share my screen. Yeah, right. There we go. Is that showing up? Oh, no, not yet.
Yeah.
Now it is?
Yep.
Okay, great. So good evening. My name is Monica Wagner, and I'm an admin analyst with the Metro Micro program in LA Metro. So I'm here tonight to give you an update on the service, a little bit about our future plans, and also very important to tell you how you can get involved in helping to make this program a success for Altadena and everywhere. So as some of you may already know, Metro Micro is a 3-year pilot of a new mode of transit that's being added to existing Metro bus and rail service. It's an on-demand shared ride option that riders can request in real time or in advance to help them connect with Metro and local bus, Metro rail, to travel to and from work or make other essential trips, healthcare appointments or grocery shopping. And now as we're looking at bigger reopening, lots of other trips too. We're actually really excited about the possibilities for getting people to hiking and use of open space in this upcoming zone. So that's going to be very interesting to see how people use it for that. So it's a little similar to Uber Pool or Lyft Line because it's a shared ride. And we do use what are called virtual stops. So it's not door to door, but most of the time your virtual stop, your pickup or drop off destination location is going to be within like maybe a few hundred feet of what you put into the app. And right now, and I believe at least through December 31st, it is $1 per ride for every ride. So you might be wondering how you use Metro Micro. We actually have 3 different ways for you to go in and book a ride. So you can download the app. I urge you all to do that right now if you want to, or very soon. It's available for both Android and iOS. Just search for Metro Micro in the App Store or Play Store. And you can also use the booking website. So for people who don't have a smartphone or just don't have one available, they can use their internet connected computer and a web browser to book rides and sign up for accounts. Or you can actually call the Metro call center and book a ride that way without having to create an account, without needing any internet access, without needing to use a smartphone, without even needing to be fluent in English, because of course our call center operates in 8 different languages. The app itself is available in both English and Spanish, but we know there's a lot more than English and Spanish there, right? So our launch schedule, we have 5 zones in operation right now. We launched 2 of them in December 2020. Yes, as the surge was getting very deep. Our ridership was probably affected by that. In January 2021, we launched another 3 zones that had actually been operating a similar service under a different funding instrument that was ending. So, so those got rolled into our program so that we were able to continue services in those zones. And then coming up next month, we are launching the Highland Park Eagle Rock Glendale zone, but most importantly, the Altadena Pasadena Sierra Madre zone. Which looks like this. So this map is not quite complete. It's kind of a draft version, but it doesn't have all of the POIs and everything set yet. But this shows you a little bit about where it goes. As you can see, it goes to a lot of your favorite places around Altadena, including up to the hiking and the canyons and such, a lot of the trailheads. We're working hard on getting the word out about our new zones. So this is a rundown of some of the methods we've already used, and so we plan to go for again. And of course, we also really understand the value of word of mouth. So I encourage all of you to check it out. If you have the time, you can go down to our operating zone in El Monte and try it out, or North Hollywood. It's not that terribly far away. And see what's going on. We're also planning on having what we're calling a community preview a couple of weeks before the launch, so that people can ask questions about it and get a little bit of information in person as we prepare to launch the service. The response in our currently operating zones has been very positive. Our riders consistently praise the model, the vehicles, and most of all our operators. We've got a great crew of union represented Metro employees driving these vehicles, and it really shows. They love their work, and and the riders love them. With that, are there any questions? Would you like to see the website?
Hi, Monica. I can't see.
All right, we ended the slideshow, which I probably shouldn't have done until I stop screen sharing. I'm trying to get my Zoom screen back, and it doesn't like that.
If you're having issues, we can ask the host to stop the screen sharing for you.
Yeah, why don't, oh, there it goes. There it goes. So.
Is that the finishing of the presentation then, Monica?
Yeah, that's the end of the presentation. So if anybody has any questions.
Okay, before we move on to questions, I just want to make sure if anybody, that was a great presentation and it's exciting to see that happening here. Is there any links or website addresses? So if anybody wants to go and research a little bit more or find out information, if there is something, can you post that in the chat maybe after we finish with the questions, and so that anybody can say, hey, that's exciting, I want to go and see it again, and they can go to the web page or whatever you have.
Yeah, I actually just put our website in the chat. We actually just launched a new redesigned website that we're very excited about. And as Dorothy mentioned in chat, we're running a promotion right now that when you sign up, your first 2 rides are free. You'll get emailed the promo codes after you sign up that will give you 2 free rides. So that's 1 round trip, so you can try it out. And you can also see an interactive Google map of the zone boundaries on that website, which is useful. There's also a how-to video and some other resources.
That's great. I'm going to move to questions. So I saw some hands up. Questions from the council?
Let's see, Amy has her hand up.
Yes, so my question was just to, since we are in a public meeting, it might be helpful for you to talk a little bit about how many riders can fit into one of the shared vans, and whether there are any, could you just describe the boundaries or the distances that people can go in the Altadena area for the micro metro project?
Sure. First of all, yes, excellent point about the capacity. Most of our fleet are 10 passenger vans, which are limited to 5 passengers due to COVID. We also have plexiglass barriers in between the operator's compartment and the passenger compartment for added safety. We have mask dispensers on board, and we are wiping, at least, disinfecting all the high-touch surfaces every single day. And of course, after any, if the operator feels the need to in the middle of the day, they also have disinfectant wipes available to them. Everybody's required to wear a mask, including the operator. And the operator has additional PPE that they must use if they need to assist a passenger. So we also have some ADA accessible vehicles with wheelchair securement. And so our operators do help with that, but they also have been trained that they should also help you with your groceries. If you have a lot of them, they should help people who just need a little more help getting up onto the vehicle, and if they want that. So yeah. We're getting face shields and gloves and such for that. And the second part of your question was the boundaries. Yes, so this is actually going to be one of our larger zones at about 22 square miles. That's a little more than ideal, honestly, for the service, but we try to keep the zones relatively small because that makes it possible for us to keep the wait times at what we're looking at. We're trying to keep wait times under 15 minutes. When you order a ride, we want you to be on that vehicle. If you ordered a ride for like right now, we want you to be on that vehicle within 15 minutes. To be quite honest, we're not always making that right now. As you know, like staffing has been a surprising issue as things are reopening. There's a lot of competition for employees, and Metro is in the midst of trying to hire an unprecedented number of bus operators, which has also affected our ability to hire our micro operators because we're using the same resources to get those onboarded. So we're working on it. We've got folks in training now, so that's going to be addressed before the launch. But yeah, so the goal is 15 minutes or less.
Councilmember Vega, I saw you had a question too.
Thank you so much for this presentation. I'm really excited about it, especially the fact that you have options for seniors with just telephone and not needing the smartphone. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. But at the end of your presentation, you had your email, and I didn't catch that. Went very quickly. I didn't get a chance to write it down. Could you provide that, please?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put that in the chat.
Thank you.
And also for like general inquiries, if you want to give it out to the public, we have our general email, which is micro@metro.net. Right now, that's also me. We're a very small team. We've got, our folks running the day-to-day, but other than that, the folks who are trying to like get this project launched and run it and monitor it and analyze it and promote it, there's like 3 of us in our department.
I just want to let you know, Monica, you mentioned for public use, just so you're aware of being a public meeting, that chat is public. So both your emails, including the first one, will be public, just to make sure.
Sure. Yeah, no, and I'm aware. I'm on our neighborhood council, so I'm very aware with Brown Act and how Of course, the city doesn't let us use chat. They think that we can't handle it.
Well, I'm glad we can. Councilmember Wong, you have a question.
Yes, thanks, Monica, for this presentation. It is definitely exciting to see. Again, this is a 3-year pilot. So I had talked to Monica earlier, but definitely how this evolves will be exciting. And as I understand it, the scope goes down to as far as Del Mar,
Station,
Pasadena, right?
I believe so. Let me.
Yeah, and it connects to La Cañada, JPL. And
JPL's very excited.
Yes, and also can kind of be that kind of quick, like if you're, because Next Gen Bus is sort of the partner here. So our regular Metro service will be sort of segueing about the same time, right, Monica?
Correct. The second phase of Next Gen goes into effect on June 27th, which is also our official launch date for this service.
Yeah, and so since our transit lines, a lot of them are going away or changing, it's really gonna, this micro transit, I personally feel is a really amazing tool for our community. So however we can just really be proactive. Again, if you want to go to the library.
I was listening to that presentation. I'm thinking I need to get our, we do have our it's a public-private partnership. And so of course we have our private partners, Rideco and some contractors that they're working with. So it's not really just the 3 of us, but in our little part of Metro it is. But I'm gonna definitely let their marketing manager know about the library and that we should be talking to them.
Yeah, and then there are service hours also.
Yes, yeah, those are set at 5:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. for this zone.
7 days a week.
7 days a week. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, which will complement our sort of abbreviated Next Gen. So I'm excited for microtransit.
And another thing that we discussed on the phone, and it wasn't in the presentation, but we also have vehicles that have bike racks on the front of them. So people can bring their bike with them, take the train to the micro, to the trails or the parks or whatever to do that. Or
I know it would depend on days of week and what day it is, and holidays will be different and everything else. But on average, what are the number of vehicles that would be expected on an average day within this zone?
I think at least initially we're trying to have about 8 vehicles on average.
Okay.
Yeah. As ridership picks up, that's going to have to go up.
Okay, that's awesome. Any more questions from the council? No. Okay. Thank you very much, Monica.
You're very welcome.
Really appreciate you giving us the time, and I know we spoke earlier, so I thank you for making it happen. So thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
And if you have any updates, feel free to reach back out, and we can either give a report update or maybe find a time when you can come back and.
Definitely. Great. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all so much, and do get that app and give it a try. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
I also want to let everybody know that we are up and running on YouTube. Part 2 is there. So just so everybody knows, and I don't know whether it's a different link, but you can probably find it by going through Pasadena Media, which if you are streaming, you're probably used to that. Or if anybody, there is a link in there. It is a different link, but it's in our chat. So if anybody wants to share that, or if anyone's getting in contact with anybody, there is a new link in chat. If you could go ahead and share that where you can. Okay, moving on. Item 5 for community reports, and we're going to start with item 5.1 with the Altadena Library with Nikki Winslow. Or is it Viktor again?
Yeah, it's me again. Let's see here. I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to keep it pretty brief here as well, because I know we've all been here for a little while. And I look forward to hearing from Monica as well. That sounds very, very interesting with the micro metro. So our little update for this month is that today we are officially reopening both library locations in full, which is very exciting. It's the first time in a while, and it's the first time I've actually been here with patrons in the building because I started in September of last year. So we are now open Tuesday through Saturday from 12 to 5 at the main library, and noon to 5 on Monday through Friday at the Bob Lucas branch. And we are limiting some services. We're asking patrons to keep their visit to about an hour, and we are not offering seating except for ADA seating and for seating for those that are using the computers. But we do offer seating outdoors for those that want to spend a little bit more time looking at materials or to use their own devices outside. And then I also want to share with you some interesting events that are coming up. We're seeing that our community is ready to interact in person again. We've hosted very popular gardening workshops at the Bob Lucas Library. We also had some really successful events here where we were done book clubs outside and crochet club craft programs outside at the main library. So with that, I would like to invite everyone on the town council and everyone else in our community to a series of outdoor events in June. We're calling these 3 authentic Altadena evenings, where we're going to be offering local food, local music, and an opportunity to connect with your neighbors again from a safe distance. We have a setup that allows for social distancing, and we are going to treat the community to a free dinner and a free concert, and also ask you a little bit about where you're at and how you're feeling about your community. So this is something that I would really want the town council members to be a part of if you can, and I'll be posting the link to register in the chat when I'm done here. But it's a limited capacity event, obviously. So if you are interested, make sure to register for these events as soon as possible. And then we are also getting ready for our summer programming. The Youth Services Department and the Teen Services Department are bringing what they're calling Our Summer to Altadena, which is a program that is happening all over Altadena. There's going to be a lot of reading, obviously, but there's also a lot of other activities that the youth can participate in. And I suggest you go to our website to find out a little bit more about that. But we're following up on last year's successful kind of COVID programming, and now expanding that to also include some in-person programming. And that is it for me for today. And any questions?
Any questions, Mackey? I see no hands. I can't see everyone at the same time, so make yourself be heard if you have any questions for Viktor. No questions? Okay, well, thank you very much again, Viktor, and thank you for doing the presentation and the update. I really appreciate your time. And hope to see you next month, or whoever else is coming through.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm moving on. Item 5.2, the Alta Chamber of Commerce, Council Member Doug Cauliflower.
Thank you, Billy. Good evening, everybody. Most of you are probably aware that the Chamber postponed our annual installation and awards dinner, which is typically held around the 1st of February every year and was postponed due to COVID. I am delighted to announce that we have rescheduled the event for Friday, July 16th. It will be held in its traditional location at the Altadena Town and Country Club. And details will be forthcoming very, very soon. But it looks like we'll be able to have a fairly traditional event, if not fully traditional event. So please mark your calendars, and hopefully you can join us. It's guaranteed to be a great event. And we will be honoring our Citizen of the Year is Mark Mariscal, and our Business of the Year is Scott and Lori Webster of Hoopla. So And then secondly, the chamber, we've been it's been on our to-do list for quite a while, but we did finally get out a member survey to all our current members. Basically, kind of a scorecard of, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, how can we better serve you as members and the community, those types of questions. So we're eagerly awaiting to see what results we get. The deadline for those surveys, excuse me, is the 28th of May. So hopefully next month I'll have some interesting results to share with everybody. And that is all I have announcement wise. If anybody has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, Chris?
Sorry, Doug, just really quick. I thought I heard you. Hoopla is the Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year?
That's correct. Yep.
All right, cool. That's cool.
Okay.
Okay, no more questions?
Nope.
Okay, moving on. Thank you, Doug. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on, item 5.3, Los Angeles County Parks and Rec, Sam Estrada.
Hello, good evening, everybody. So we started our Everybody Plays program in April, I'm sorry. And the program has been going pretty well. And we've been holding it basically as a program where people can drop in and stop by the park on Tuesday through Saturday from 2:30 to 5:30 for youth ages 5 to 17. At this time, it's only at Loma Alta, and they're handing out recreation equipment for anybody to come in and play. And we are also offering a free snack for those that do participate in this program. So that program is continuing, and it's ongoing until June. So stop by Loma Alta and be part of it. It's a great activity that the supervisor and the youth staff put on for everybody to be part of it. We also started in April, and Everybody Plays sports clinic program. So that's been taking place every Saturday, and it's been happening at Loma Alta and Farnsworth Park. In addition to 55 total parks throughout the department, and it will be ending on Saturday, May 29th. The ones that are being held at Farnsworth are a baseball clinic, and the ones at Loma Alta, at Farnsworth, there's baseball and basketball. And then at Loma Alta, we just have the baseball and t-ball clinics. And they are free for everybody, like I said, and it's for ages 6 to 12 years old. So like I said, ends May 29th. So come check it out if you haven't registered already, or if you are unable to register online. Come by, stop by the park and talk to the staff, and they'll be able to assist you in registering. We have our contract classes that are ongoing since this spring. So we have hundreds and hundreds of classes that anybody can register for. They vary from arts and crafts, sports, exercising, meditation, mindful classes, adult, youth, senior activities. Registration for our summer session started this Monday. So we still have our spring session going until the end of this month. And our summer session will start May 31st. Starting on June 15th, we do have our in-person indoor classes that are contract classes. So just like Billy had mentioned, June 15th is the county's reopening. So we're looking for June 15th to do in person. However, not every class, not all the instructors decided to come indoors. So we do have some that are going to be outdoor classes. So the ones that are going to be outdoor, they'll remain outdoor. And then the ones that decide to go indoors will go in. And then we also have some that are hybrid, which will be virtual and in person. And you can visit parks.lacounty.gov/reserve, and you can see the amount of classes that we offer throughout our department. And in addition to visiting that website, we are open for outdoor public reservations starting this week. So we have groups that are wanting to use our facilities outdoors. At this time, we're allowing outdoor rentals And again, visit parks.lacounty.gov/reserve. Indoor reservations are not permitted at this time, so that is something that we are looking forward to, possibly starting June 15th. Reopening, so as we mentioned, June 15th runs into our summer. So starting June 15th, we have our indoor programming, and in addition, we are going to do our summer drop-in program. It's going to be Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is free. Loma Alta and Charles White will be hosting this, and we are hiring youth through various hiring agencies throughout the LA County area for the summer program. So that's what we have going on for right now in the Altadena area. Farnsworth is still under construction, but it's targeted to be completed by the end of the summer. So any questions, let me know.
Any questions from the council? Question from Council Member Wong.
Hi, Sam. So thank you for that update. Will anything be limited? Do you have limits to the reservations related to COVID capacity wise?
Yeah, we do have limitations on capacity. We haven't been given the guidance at this time because they're kind of slowly reopening the reservations. Like right now, it's only being given out to like sports, movie rentals, filmings and things like that. So we don't have any large capacity rentals as far as picnics and things like that. However, once the patron does make a reservation, they will be informed upon what the guidance will be. So it, like I said, it did open just Monday, so the information is slowly coming in. So it's not like they will be saying, oh, you can have 100 to 50 people. It will be a limited capacity on what they can have.
Right. I was talking with the farmers market, and they're still waiting to hear word as well. The farmers market.
And as we get closer to June 15th, things will lighten up and our numbers will increase. We're looking at also our numbers for our park participants to also increase as well from 15 and possibly going from anywhere from 20 to 30 participants for the programs.
Cool. And then I saw this thing, Rising with Chalk. That was pretty cool. That's part of the Everybody Plays.
Yes, that was something that we did last week, and we had that part of our Everybody Plays program. So we were doing that throughout the department. So Loma Alta was just one of the lucky parks to be part of that activity. So it was just something that our department incorporated in the Everybody Plays program. So that's something that we'll be doing throughout the summer as well. We'll be doing that, incorporating additional activities and partnerships for these free programs.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions from the council? Okay, Council Member Peck and then Council Member Petria.
Just a quick question to confirm. Someone can register for these contract classes at parks.lacounty.gov.
Yes, and then /reserve. So it's kind of like a dual site for reserving a park and also registering for our park classes.
And classes for the next session start when?
They start May 31st.
Okay.
And those are open as of yesterday.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I was wondering if you knew when the basketball hoops would go back up, like at Farnsworth.
They're actually up right now.
They are back up. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's part of our Everybody Plays drop-in sports program. So we put them back up last month.
Super.
Any more questions? Well, thanks again for coming, Sam. We always like it when you come and give a parks report every month. So I really appreciate your time and your thorough report. So thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you next month.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
Okay, moving on, we're going to go to the committees. Item 6, we're going to start with item 6.1, Safe Street Report, Committee Report, on the committee reports.
All right, thank you very much. So just quickly, this week is officially Road Safety Week. May is Mobility Month. And so the theme is Streets for Life. So this is a sort of a worldwide movement And the goal is to reduce traffic speeds by a mix, especially around a mix of pedestrians, vehicles, and residential schools. So that is sort of a worldwide movement. So we'll share some information on the website on that. Also, the protected sidewalk demonstration project is up at Loma Alta Park. There is a survey on the town council website, Altadena Safe Streets. So take a walk around the park and provide your responses there. So we've got a lot of great comments that have come in. So that's awesome. And this is also bike, walk, and transit to work day. So we're gonna be giving out some prizes, and I'll put it up on the website for anybody who is actually going to work this Friday, 5/21. And then we'll have, I'm actually looking to see how we can collaborate with the shop local so that we can all maybe organize a bike ride. So we'll update the website there. And then we're also going to be organizing a bicycle ride before the month ends. That will be a tour of the Altadena Heritage Golden Poppy Award homes. So we're going to go on a garden bicycle ride. And then in June, be ready, because June is also a month where we're going to be looking to see how we move around more, as hopefully some exciting things come to fruition. We'll see. We'll find out if the active transportation plan, sustainable communities grant that the county applied for will be implemented or will be accepted, and also some safe routes to schools, federal funding that may be coming our way. And also the bicycle master plan, the first proposal will be also provided to our community, hopefully in June. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that update, Councilman Wong. Anyone got any questions?
Oh, and the last thing, the slow street signs will be sunsetting at some point. How that happens remains to be seen. So we have a lot of slow street signs. Again, this is a project of LA County Vision Zero. So stay tuned. I'm waiting to hear back from LA County. How's that?
Thank you for that update too. All right, I appreciate the update. Thank you. As I'm assuming no more questions. Okay, we're going to move on to the Land Use Committee report 6.2. With Councilmember Marcussen, over to you.
Yes, the Land Use Committee met 2 weeks ago. We reviewed 3 projects, all of which we will take action on tonight. And the first one up is with Chris O'Malley.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to be presenting our PPL 2020-009834 conditional use permit for beer and wine sales on and off site for Pizza of Venice at 2545 North Fair Oaks Avenue. I'm going to try to make this quick. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read through the public comment. I have a lot of emails from people voicing their opinion. I will read through the conditions unless there's some way to make that quicker and just enter them into the record.
Not really.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I will read through the conditions. As soon as the conditions are read through, I am going to motion to for approval of those conditions. And as soon as that's seconded, I'm going to move to amend those conditions to change the opening hours for Pizza of Venice. If somebody is good enough to second that motion, I will explain myself. And
okay, and Chris, can you let everybody know what the Land Use Committee recommended?
Sure. Well, the Land Use Committee recommended that we approve it with our conditions as amended, which I will read after the public comments.
Okay.
Good. All right. So first, let's do public comments. Well, first off, my due diligence, I distributed roughly 200 flyers to the homes in the surrounding area. It was a roughly 2,000 foot radius. I received 10 emails back, 9 in support and 1 opposed. I spoke to roughly 17 residents, 16 of which were supportive of recommending approval. 1 was opposed. Additionally, Mr. Woolley, the owner, and Councilmember Jones met with Sench, which is a neighborhood watch group that functions in Mrs. Jones' tract, and they have issued their support for the license as well. I've looked at the property. I don't think there's any real concern that it will turn into a bar or some sort of late night hangout. There's not really enough space to do so. And Mr. Wooler, the owner, is pretty emphatic that he has no desire to be anything other than a pizza joint that sells some beer and wine. Public comment as follows. First one is from Lisa Diaz. Dear Mr. Chris O'Malley, I live in Altadena and I fully support the recommendation for POV to be approved, POV is Pizza of Venice, to be approved for a beer and wine license. Small businesses like POV are the lifeblood to communities like Altadena, and granting them the ability to grow their business in this way will help to ensure their success and longevity. The second one is from Margaret Griffith. Dear Chris, I am an Altadena resident and support POV receiving a beer and wine license. Third one is from Kenneth Haber. I would like to support the request for a beer and wine license for the restaurant Pizza of Venice. In these difficult times, anything that we can do to support local businesses to stay in businesses is a worthwhile endeavor. Please grant your approval. Michael Holland. I'm hoping you'll be supporting the beer and wine license request from Pizza of Venice. We have been patrons of theirs since they opened and they have been responsible neighbors. I think they have earned the opportunity to serve alcohol with their food. I hope you will consider their application and support their efforts. Rosalina Rodriguez. I find it concerning that additional places will have beer and wine available. There's a liquor store in the same shopping center a block north of another liquor store, a bar a block south, and an additional liquor store in Woodbury, not to add the markets and gas station. Recently, we have had several shootings and disturbances in the area. Having an AA center indicates that we already have a problem with alcohol in the area. The shopping complex is not large enough to accommodate the influx of traffic in and out of the site. We also have a park nearby, and as it is now on any day, especially on weekends, several adults drink alcohol, trashing the park and adjacent streets. I'm in favor of adding more licenses to sell beer and wine. I think perhaps she meant she is not in favor. What we need is more recreation areas that are safe for the residents. Rosemary Brandenburg. Good morning. I am writing in support of the request by Pizza of Venice restaurant for a beer and wine license. This is an excellent, well-run business, and this license will increase their ability to be profitable. It is in the community interest that Pizza of Venice thrive. I'd rather POV have these sales than continue to have clients BYO bring their own from nearby liquor stores. I don't personally drink alcohol, but many do enjoy wine or beer with their meal, and I see no reason to not allow this license. Louise Bannon. Yes, we would love to be able to serve beer or wine when we go to Pizza of Venice. We love the place, and being able to get something we'd like to drink would only make it more pleasant to go there. Beer and wine served on premises seldom results in the kind of nuisance calls that places like a liquor store get. Just give me a sec. There's a jump. Jeffrey Wagner. My family and I are firmly and fervently in favor of POV earning an alcohol license with your blessing. During tougher times for local small businesses, especially wonderful family-friendly restaurants like POV, it is imperative that we, the Altadena residents, support great small businesses like this so they can survive and thrive. A pizza establishment is a perfect place to enjoy a beer or a wine with your dinner on a Friday night, and my family and I look forward to doing just that. Thank you for your time and consideration. And last, the email from Nina Elig of Sench. Hello, on Monday, May 10th, 2021, Altadena Town Council Representatives Veronica Jones and Daryl Aranda, Jamie Wooler of Pizza of Venice, and Sench Neighborhood Association Chairpersons Carlotta Martin, Yolanda Dorsey, and myself, Nina Elig, held a meeting regarding Wooler's business plan to obtain a license to sell beer and wine with takeout food orders. Jamie reached out to Sench for this meeting to show his willingness and good faith for the community that his business is located in. He shared his plan with integrity and a sincere appreciation of our neighborhood and willingness to work with the community to build partnerships between business and communities. Sench has had major concerns with so many liquor stores / markets that sell beer, wine, and spirits in its immediate vicinity. So with Jamie reaching out to us, his plans and commitments, we with Sench feel good about supporting Jamie and POV for their effort in obtaining the license, and will be watching and monitoring his success and promises to our community. Sench also supports Jamie and POV becoming an active member of the Altadena Chamber of Commerce. We encourage other businesses to take a serious interest in communities it does business with. We are all better when this happens. That's the end of public comment. The conditions as they came out of land use are as follows. let me minimize this screen here so I can see everything. Sorry, that should be land use recommended conditions. Number 1, the sale of alcoholic beverages shall be from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. from Sunday to Thursday and 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. No alcohol shall be served at the site beyond 10 p.m. from Sunday to Thursday and 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Any unfinished serving already being consumed at the time shall be consumed within 60 minutes of the latest permitted time to serve alcohol at the site. 2, security cameras shall be installed inside the restaurant and outside facing the outdoor dining area and surrounding area. Video footage shall be retained for at least 1 month and shall be made available to law enforcement upon request. 3, a monitor security alarm shall be installed on the premises. 4, the permittee shall not advertise the sale of alcoholic beverages on the exterior of any structure of the subject property, including windows, walls, fences, or similar structures. 5, all regulation of the state of California prohibiting the sale of alcoholic beverages to minors shall be strictly enforced. 6, the permittee shall post or otherwise provide telephone numbers of local law enforcement agencies and taxicab companies at or near the cashier or similar public service area. Such telephone numbers shall be visible by and available to the general public. 7, there shall be no consumption of alcoholic beverages outside the designated areas of the subject facility. The permittee shall instruct all designated employees who directly serve or are in the practice of selling alcoholic beverages regarding this restriction. 8, the permittee shall develop and implement a designated driver program, i.e. a free soft drink or coffee to a designated driver of a group. The permittee shall submit the program to the Director of Planning for approval prior to the approval of the CUP. All employees shall be trained on the program. A printed 2-sided card explaining this program shall be placed on all tables in the restaurant, or a notice regarding the program shall be printed on the menu. 9, all servers of alcoholic beverages must be at least 18 years of age. 10, no dancing, no dance floor is authorized in or outside the premises. 11, there shall be no music or other noise audible beyond the restaurant premises. The restaurant will comply with all LA County noise ordinance provisions. 12, not less than 51% of the income from the business enterprise shall be derived from the sale of food and non-alcoholic beverages. The business owner shall at all times maintain records which reflect separately the gross sale of food and the gross sale of alcoholic beverages. Said records shall be available to the Los Angeles County Department of Regional Planning, the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department on demand. 13, the permittee may hold happy hour drink specials or similar promotions from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week, only in conjunction with food. 14, food service shall be continuously provided during operating hours. 15, no service of alcoholic drinks will be done in disposable cups of any type. 16, the outdoor seating area shall be clearly defined and follow all ABC rules for outdoor areas. 17, a trash can shall be provided in the outdoor area and emptied regularly. 18, there shall be no display of alcoholic beverages from coolers or refrigeration other than restaurant-style coolers. 19, there shall be no sales of alcohol from an ice tub. Champagne buckets are exempted for on-site consumption. 20, the permittee and all managers and designated employees of the establishment who directly serve or are in the practice of selling alcoholic beverages shall participate in the LEAD, Licensee Education on Alcohol and Drugs, program. All new designated employees shall be required to attend. The licensee shall display a certificate or plaque in a publicly accessible area of the establishment, such as the lobby, indicated that they have participated in the program. Proof of completion of the facility's training program by employees, the licensee, and all managers shall be available upon request. 21, alcoholic beverages for on-site consumption shall be sold to customers only when food is ordered and consumed. 22, the following shall apply to any alcoholic sales for off-site consumption. A, only beer and wine may be sold for off-site consumption. B, all sales for off-site consumption must be with food. C, there shall be no wine with the exception of wine coolers sold in containers of less than 370 milliliters. D, wine coolers shall not be sold in less than 4-pack quantities. E, malt beverages, for example, beer, ale, stout, and malt liquor shall not be sold in a bottle or container greater than 750 milliliters or 25.4 ounces. F, no miniatures of any type shall be sold. G, all beverages must be sold unopened and in the original manufacturer container. H, beer in containers of 16 ounces or less shall not be sold by a single container, but must be sold in manufacturer pre-packaged multi-unit quantities. I, alcohol sold for off-site consumption may not be consumed on-site. J, staff shall not open any alcohol for off-site consumption. Whew, that was fun. So I move that the Altadena Town Council recommend approval of project number RPPL 202009834 with the conditions as read.
And I second that motion,
second,
Dr. Thomas.
All right. Mr. Chair, I would like to amend the motion.
Okay, go ahead.
If I may just take a minute of the council's time, and I apologize, but for those of you that are unfamiliar with my stretch of town, 4603.02 is primarily residential. We have some business on Lincoln, just south of Altadena, but our primary business zoning is on Fair Oaks between Ventura and Mariposa. Currently, that stretch is anchored by Hoopla, which is a family-owned retail store, and this year's Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year. Congratulations, Hoopla. The Red Hen, which is a small restaurant specializing in soul food, and it's delicious. Everybody should try it. And Pizza of Venice. I believe that this is important, not just to my stretch of Altadena, but to the town more generally, to attract small businesses that can provide an important counterbalance to the domination of liquor stores, vacant lots, and empty storefronts. We should make it easy for businesses that want to be in our neighborhood. We should make it easy for them to make a profit. And in this particular case, that means allowing Pizza of Venice to sell beer and wine with their food in a way that is consistent with the rest of town. Pizza of Venice should have the same rights as other comparable businesses in Altadena. Fox's, El Patron, and Bulgarinis, all located on the east side of town, are allowed to sell beer and wine beginning at 9 a.m. I can think of no good reason that restaurants on Lake should be afforded the opportunity for profit, but the businesses on Fair Oaks should be denied. One objection to this license that I have heard is based on the crime, loitering, littering, and gang violence that has occurred around Town and Country Liquor, which shares the same strip mall as Pizza of Venice. Pizza of Venice should not be penalized for the issues that are created by liquor stores. It seems to me that penalizing the businesses that are committed to bettering our communities for the actions that occur at surrounding businesses is counterproductive and can only lead to more difficulty in attracting the kind of enterprises that the Fair Oaks corridor needs in order to thrive. Therefore, in the spirit of encouraging businesses that are interested in being involved and responsible members of our community, and of ensuring fairness and equity in all parts of Altadena, I move to amend condition number 1 to strike references to 11 a.m. and replace them with 9 a.m.
I second the motion.
Seconded by Dr. Thomas. Can I ask a quick question? Are you talking about in-house dining only?
That's a good question, Billy. I'm not necessarily opposed to that. That would be a second amendment to amend article or condition number, let me find it. If we wanted to make a different time for off sale, right? If we wanted to make a different time for it to go, then we would also need to amend down here, probably add A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, that off sale retail shall not occur before whatever time.
Oh, I'll leave that up for discussion. I just wanted to just point that out.
But we should probably do one at a time.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Do we have any discussion on that adjustment?
Sylvia, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just not sure about the protocol since it was approved by land use. Now we're making a change at ATC, what that protocol is. Just curious.
Yeah, we've changed things from land use before. If over the 2 weeks that we have in between, Chris explained his reason for changing, and I think that's fine.
Is that explained enough, Sylvia, or would you like more? Okay, any other questions? Councilmember Wong?
Hi, thank you. So the one question I have, I guess, for Chris is, so again, Business of the Year Hoopla, as it relates to parking, they actually have to put a cone up in front of their store, because then the business next to it, is, I think, a gardening or landscape business.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of challenged for space. So have you talked to the businesses and then the business just south? In fact, whatever is going to happen at Baja Market will become something.
Hopefully.
And we can't think about that now, right? But there is one business that's also for sale near the Baja Market. But ultimately, I guess, you know, in respect to the businesses that are there, have they shown any concern, or are they like, and the other one, I recall, one business owner was concerned that if we make, you know, kind of that conundrum of, if we make this area so successful, right, then ultimately that can price out other businesses who might be at a lower rent. And if it becomes popular and everyone's all, I'm going to buy that place now, and then, you know, and maybe that's not an issue, but I just wanted to say that out loud because that was expressed to me by a business owner, not particularly for this instance, but over the past 3 or 4 years. And then, and you know, ultimately, I hope that, you know, they could use microtransit and we could really think about how we move around, and we could think about making Fair Oaks a better street, you know, in general. So
I would love that. Yeah.
I think it's a good project. Again, I enjoy the food at Pizza Venice, but I would just want to make sure that we're not hurting Hoopla, and that they're okay and everyone's kind of okay. And then, you know, the liquor store that is there, I think there's effectively right now less than 20 parking spots. So I just think, you know, since they are open at business hours, and if it could be 9 o'clock, and maybe that's kind of the peak time when the gardeners might be coming in and out, and then Hoopla is trying to protect its space. I just want to make sure that the businesses also are aware and they don't have an issue.
I did one quick thing with that with Dorothy, only because I have some information here, is I did look into parking issues on that street prior with businesses that requested me in the past. One of the issues with the parking with the businesses there is that it actually has, for the consideration of the businesses, a 1 hour parking restriction for cars parked there. However, many cars from the residential area will park on that street, which will take up the use of the parking, and they park there for longer than an hour, possibly parking over the weekend and stuff like this. So the businesses at one time have asked if we could get parking enforcement to do a better job of putting the 1 hour restriction in there and enforcing it. And that would open up more parking for the businesses. That was just something that came up in the past. So I just want to point out, it's not necessarily the businesses that are blocking each other. It's that there's another issue going on that maybe enforcement could resolve. Okay, go ahead, Councilmember Jones.
I just want to remind everybody that this is not just for this business, it's for the building. So if they ever left, all this stays with that building. Another business would come in. I know we know that, but I just want to emphasize that.
That's a good point.
They would get those same privileges.
Right.
Any more questions from the council? Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the previous conditions. So we're going to put that to vote for that motion. All those in favor of the new amendment to the conditions as proposed by the Land Use Committee, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. And any abstentions? So moved. Okay, go ahead, Chris. You have that amendment.
Well, there was already a first and a second on that, right?
Yeah, there was already a first and a second.
So now we just vote on the amended. Yeah.
On the conditions. Okay, so we're going to go. So yes, we now go to a vote for the whole conditions. I'm sorry, I get. So that's the amendment. Now we're going to go to a vote to the full conditions, including the amendment. So all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? So moved. All right. Thank you very much, Chris, for all your hard work on this.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody else that's helped Chris along. Okay, moving on to the next agenda item. I guess I'll leave this to Councilmember Marcussen because it's her.
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. So the next
Sorry.
one is the AT&T tower project. PRJ 2020-002287 RPPL 2020-00713, sorry, located at 1873 Allen Avenue, which is on top of Armin's Market. The Land Use Committee voted unanimously to approve the project and continue to keep the existing conditions that were put in place in 2004. So are there any questions on that? I don't think AT&T is here. So, but does anybody have any questions on the project? Okay, then in the matter of, I'm going to try this again. In the matter of PRJ 2020-002287, RPPL 20200071113, located at 1873 Allen Avenue, Armin's Market. AT&T is upgrading the site by swapping like-for-like antennas on an existing rooftop. I move that the Altadena Town Council recommend to regional planning that the project be approved, including the continuation of all existing conditions as written in 2004.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the table and we have a second. Any discussion before we go to vote? Councilmember Wong.
Just a question, Diane. I don't know if you know the answer. What is the term of this renewal?
I think it's 10 years because the first one was 10 years and should have been renewed in 2014.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? Okay, I go to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? So moved, unanimous.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to the property located at 1773 Oxford Avenue. I know Rita is, oh, there she is. Rita is here. We had quite an extensive discussion on the project in the Land Use Committee. At the time, the Land Use Committee did recommend that the project be denied. I've sent some additional information out. I don't know if there are any questions about it or any questions that I could answer about the project or that Rita can. If you need her to bring up that diagram that shows the red boxes that show what the latest changes were, she can, but just wanted to ask if
Let me know.
Yeah. Does anybody want her to pull that up? I did send it out to everybody online. Okay. Are there any other questions or, oh, she's sharing. Okay.
Okay.
So I did send out, just for some additional information, I did send out some information about and talk to regional planning. What we're really looking at is the side yard and rear yard setbacks to the distance between the two buildings. You can see there, which is, I think they're 4 feet and should be 6 feet. And I know there was a lot of confusion and discussion, including I was confused as well, but I think what regional planning has agreed to say about the project is that those pieces that you see, those pieces that you see in red were put in by the current owner, with the exception that the long skinny piece at the back of the project really should only have 3 feet of it red, and the rest of it should not be red because that was there in 1953. The regional planning has determined that they will no longer say that the pieces prior to the current owner were unpermitted. They're saying no permits were found, and that's because there is a lot of confusion about old permits from 1953 and between then and when the new owner made the changes. So what we're looking at is the extension of the side yard, which is at the bottom, that extends that building. I don't know how many feet that is long.
15
Yeah,
feet.
it's 15 feet.
13 feet.
13 feet. Okay, and 3 feet along the back of the property, and then the distance between the two houses, which you can see.
Feet 2 inches.
Perfect with the vertical box that's on, between those two buildings, that should be 6 feet and is 4. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. I don't know if anybody has, you can stop sharing now, Rita, I think. Does anybody have any other questions? Dorothy?
I'm sorry, can you remind me what the side yard setback distance is from the property line? Where the red is? What is the distance?
Now it's 1 foot.
What's 1 foot? And then the neighbor, does the neighbor have an issue? Does the neighbor next door have an issue? A
The neighbor
concern?
next door is exactly the same situation. Look at the neighbor next door.
They have the same distance?
Yeah.
Here's the neighbor next door.
Okay, thank you.
Part of the situation that in that neighborhood is that they were all built without the right setbacks. So I think the way we changed our CSD recently to say that people could add on to the same plane of the wall of the house to a certain extent, because people were being asked to jig-a-jog. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like if it's 1 foot and it should be 4 feet, I'm making that up, right? 1 feet, it should be 4 feet. Then they have to jig-a-jog the house back 3 feet to get the right setback on the new property. And we, in particular, changed the CSD so that that would no longer be the case for small additions like this, not building a whole new house. So the side yard, it's 13 feet additional on the same plane as the original building. On the back, he added 3 feet along the same plane as the additional building. And then, of course, the one that made it too close to the other property is that filling in of like an entryway or something that he did. Are there any other questions? Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve this project. I'll read my motion and you guys can vote yes or no. In the matter of project number RPPL 202-001-0171, yard CSD mod, minor CUP to legalize 2, I have unpermitted, but it's no permits found, rear residential units with a yard modification located at 1773 Oxford Avenue. I move that the Altadena Town Council recommend approval of the project without conditions. I further move that the Altadena Town Council explain to the Department of Regional Planning that based on the large amount of work in the last 60 plus years, the committee was only able to review and vote on the setbacks that were performed by the current owner. I'm sorry, the setback exceptions that were performed by the current owner. So that's what, so we would explain to regional planning why we made the decision we did.
I just have a question on that. Is that land use, a different motion was given to recommend to the ATC than the motion that's on the table right now. should we do?
Well,
like-
I think what I'd like to do is I feel that after my discussions with regional planning, I feel that I wanted to recommend approval of the project with an explanation to regional planning of what we actually reviewed, which was just those 3 additions. And if I hear no second, so if there's no second, then I'll bring my other motion up.
I'll second it with some reservations.
Okay, so is there any discussion then on that? Or, I mean, ask me the questions. Go ahead, Chris.
So I get that we are not a punitive body, right? I think the owner of the property made a lot of adjustments to the property where he should have sought a permit and did not. And I think that understandably makes a lot of people on the council upset.
Yep. Including me.
So I would like to, it's all right, dude. I would like to amend the motion to reflect in some way, and I don't have wording for it because I haven't thought it through, but if anybody else does, that would be great, to reflect the fact that we are super tired of getting these cases.
Well, okay, let me just, I get it. I totally get it. We can put something in there like that, but regional planning can't stop it. Regional planning can't help us with that. I'm not opposed to putting something in the motion and try to put it in the letter, but I just want everybody to be really clear because there is unpermitted work all over Altadena, and what we've been finding is that people are wanting to make changes to their properties. They've been home and, oh, look what we could do, or we can build an ADU or whatever it is, and then the unpermitted work gets caught, and then regional planning makes them go back and do what they should have done in the first place. So what will stop that is if people stop doing unpermitted work. But I don't have a problem putting something in. I just want to set the expectation that it's not going to do a lot. Yeah, Sylvia?
I disagree with the approval. I think that we're here for a reason.
Well, we've had you can vote no.
No, I understand, but I do want to voice my opinion on the matter.
Okay.
I think we're here for a reason. I'm sorry, Billy, did you want to say something?
I just want we're getting into a discussion here on the second motion. Right. I want to go to our parliamentarian first, because we had a motion that was voted on by a committee that was sent to us, and now we have a new motion being presented. I just want to make sure.
Well, we've changed.
Died on the floor, Diane did.
Well, hang on. Chris brought a different motion to the committee than was voted on in land use. So we do this all the time. When we did. So
we read the first motion and then we corrected it with a second motion. So we haven't heard the motion coming from the committee yet.
Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I don't know where we are in all the motions, but I'm going to go ahead and make the motion that we did at the land use committee, and we can vote on that and then move on. In the matter of project number RPPL 20200100171, Yard CSD mod minor CUP to legalize 2 rear residential units previously unpermitted, without permits, sorry. Residential units with a yard modification located at 1773 Oxford Avenue. I move that the Altadena Town Council recommend denial of the project to regional planning.
Second.
Okay, so that was the original motion.
Well, you have a second, so now you have to take a vote.
Point of order. So right now, let's just say that's the only thing that we're dealing with. Yes.
That's fine. Yep.
At the moment. Now, are we doing? Is there a second motion to adjustment on that, like Chris did with his?
No.
Where he wanted to amend the original motion. No.
No.
Okay. Any discussion?
Hamlet wants to speak.
Yeah, he's the owner.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Hamlet, because you can present the motions on the table.
You're on
Can't
mute
hear
or
you.
something. We can't hear you.
Your mic's not working. It's out of order too.
Hamlet, can we hear you?
If I may, Mr. Chair, I think what we should do is if there's any discussion on the motion or if there's any arguments against the motion, that discussion should be had right now. So not to be
Yes,
presumptuous, but Diane, if you wanted to explain your reasoning for wanting
Yes.
to present a different motion, this would be the right time to do it.
Absolutely. That's
I
what
already
happened.
did that.
Just did it.
Yes. And on that second motion to adjust it, we had a second. So we had a motion which came from the land use. Then we had a second motion to adjust or change what came from land use, and we have a second on that. So on
Yeah, I would just like to say to everybody that there have been many, many occasions in my time, my 12, 13, 14, whatever years it is on land use and ATC, that the motions have changed from the time that we left land use until the time they came in. I don't have, I've explained exactly what the situation is. Now we have a motion on the table to deny the project. We have a second, so we ought to take a vote.
Hi, I'm not, Mr. Rich, I'm not on the land use committee, but the way I think about this as an economist is what's the additional harm that would happen if we allowed the applicant to go ahead with the changes they recommend, given that we're not at a pristine state now, we're at a non-pristine state. Is the actual change?
The change happened, yeah, the thing, Reggie, the change happened in 2019. So the neighbors have lived with the change since 2019. And to the best of my knowledge, none of them have complained, either regional planning or me. So in this particular case, the damage is sort of, I mean, if there was damage, well, I guess there wasn't damage because nobody's complained about it. The work was done in 2019. So it's been
So you're not going to go back to all the red's not going to go away with this decision. So I don't see a whole lot of harm by the status quo being legitimized as an economist. I don't see a societal harm. So this is the status quo. And so it isn't like people are up in arms because they can't get light on their solar panels now because they built 4 stories up. So that's just how I see it as an economist. Thanks.
Okay. I just want to make sure, in the same way that we did the other ones, and I'm going to refer to Dr. Thomas, the parliamentarian. When a motion is on, we have a second. During the discussion, a second motion should be on the table, and then that is seconded. In this particular case, we had a motion on the table first that came before what the motion that came from the land use is. My assumption in this case, and I'm going to leave it to you, is that we have a set motion and a second on the table with conflicting things. We have to address both. The first one is what came from land use, that we have a motion and a second, and if we wish to change that, because we had a motion and a second on changing the motion that came from land use, and we need to.
This is way more complicated than I think it really needs to be.
I have my hand up.
In the first motion, Diane, I was trying to catch Diane's attention. I think the first motion died for lack of a second. Then the other motion came up and had a second.
I think both had a second.
I seconded the first motion.
We can move on.
There was a reluctant second for the first motion, I think.
Oh, maybe I just didn't hear it. Was there a reluctant second?
And we'll get to you 1 second.
In the issue of clarity, I withdraw my second.
Oh, no, it's all complicated.
All right.
All we're dealing with right now, all we are dealing with right now is the recommendation from the land use committee to deny approval of the project. And there's a second for that. So that's all that's on the table.
And so that's all that's on the table, Mr. Chair?
That is all there.
Yes.
Fine, so let's vote.
That's what the land use chair was proposing.
Okay, in that discussion, Councilmember Aranda had his hand up. Okay, and then the applicant also had his hand up to make a statement, which he is allowed to do at this point, but we haven't heard from him. And I can't get volume.
He wants to talk, but we can't hear him.
Can he type it in the chat?
Or can you relay it for him?
Yeah.
He could probably type it in the chat.
Okay, he's gonna log out and log back in, I think. Yeah, we can try that.
I think Councilmember Vega wants to.
Yeah, Sylvia has her hand up. Go ahead, Sylvia.
It just in response to what Reggie had said, you know, from taking outside the economic address, but it sets a precedence, Reggie. We're looking at a setback of 1 foot and a couple inches. And, you know, that's what we do. We set precedences, whether, just like Veronica was talking about, you know, Pizza Venice, if it changes, it goes to another business, you know, people can use it as a point of reference. And I think that's the struggle I have with it.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Signaling, right? We don't want to provide moral hazards, so everyone will do this and know they can remain
Well, I think
scot-free,
because
right?
county has a reputation as county, you can get away with it, and then that's where we have these issues.
Right, but we are not punitive. So just want to make sure that the town council doesn't get the reputation of.
But I mean, also on the other hand, if we do recommend denial, what do we expect to happen? Are we expecting the owner to tear down the additions that he has made?
That's up to regional planning. They'll make their own decision. And
Which would result in losing his tenants that have a disabled child in one of the units and a single mother, her child,
well,
the other unit too.
Regional planning is the final decision maker. I think I know what they'll do, but you know, we have to make our own decisions. So I think, I don't know, he's not back on, Rita, so I think that.
Can you let Hamlet back in to the Zoom call?
Hamlet needs to be back in?
Yes.
Okay, passing the media, we have Hamlet in the waiting room. Could you let him back in? And then while we're waiting to come back in, I want to refer back to Dr. Thomas. So is it acceptable that a second can be withdrawn so that we no longer have the two conflicting motions on the table?
Yes, you could withdraw that second.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I believe.
Joining. Okay.
And thank you to our parliamentarian for clarity.
You are so welcome, Mr. Chair.
Hamlet, can you talk? Can you hear you?
Nope. Nope.
Chris, can you hear me? Chris?
I think.
Which Chris?
Chris O'Malley.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for.
Well,
I think
you, Sandy.
I think that we that the applicant's representative is on the call right now, and he doesn't seem to be able to. Go ahead, try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. I know it's late evening. I appreciate everyone's patience, and I do Zoom meetings every day. I don't understand why I couldn't get this on. First and foremost, I bought this property as a 3-unit. I had an uphill battle to prove to the city that these 2 back units were permitted. And I please don't penalize me. I haven't done anything. I'm not a real estate developer. I'm an attorney that represents kids with special needs. I don't do real estate development. I trusted a contractor who did some stuff that shouldn't have done, but I truly believe what has been done is minor. My neighbors have appraised me for what I've done. They've literally told me that they are able to get more rent because of the hundreds of thousands that I've spent on this property. My back tenants are not able to get air conditioning and heat because the panel is not approved. The point that I'm trying to make is I haven't done anything that should set a precedent for anyone else to follow. All I've done is taken if you can have that diagram on the screen, Rita, you can see that there was a storage in the back. All I did is take that wall down, include that into the property, and I didn't change any of the setbacks. I didn't do anything that I shouldn't have done. All I did is make a better living for the tenants. And you know, as I hear everyone's asking or discussing, I didn't buy a property and build a multi-unit property on the land. I just improved the land.
Yeah, I think the bottom line here is that you may have made changes that improved the property, but you did it without permits.
And I do apologize, sincerely apologize. I lesson learned. Please don't penalize me for that.
Well, that's where we are, is that regional planning is asking us to look at just the setbacks. We're not, and the distance between the two buildings. We're not looking at the, you know, we're not looking at it in any other way except for the setbacks and the distance between the two buildings. So that's kind of where we are. So Billy, I think you're ready to call for a vote.
Okay, we're gonna, any more discussion before we go to vote? Okay.
And let me just say, guys, that one of the things that we do is as Chris did tonight, you know, he talked about his census tract and what's best for his census tract. And so I'm just telling you that I know Sylvia and I have different views, but I think that as Reggie said, and as I said, that the additions have been in for 2 years. We can't turn back time. And so I'm betting that if they had come to us with permits, that the committee would have approved it, but we'll never know. So go ahead, take your vote, Billy.
Okay.
There are two
Miranda.
councilmembers who want to talk.
We have questions coming up. Councilmember Miranda, Councilmember Ozen.
Okay, real quick. So voting yes on this accepts the land use committee's no vote.
Correct.
Correct?
Uh-huh.
All right. So yes means no and no means yes.
Correct. Well,
Councilmember Ozen.
yes means no and no means no. So either way. Yeah. Okay, Nick?
Hamlet, is it Hamlet or Leon?
Hamlet, I'm sorry, Leon is my son. I apologize.
I didn't want to.
Using his computer.
I'll say I don't plan to penalize you for what it's worth, but I am concerned that we've heard from your tenants and it does not reflect what you're trying to tell us tonight. So my advice would be you shouldn't say anymore because I plan to support you, but I don't like hearing, and it concerns me, the way you're trying to frame. And I know this isn't going to be punitive, and I appreciate that, but Councilmember Marcussen has made it very clear to me, and it's been very helpful to hear her guidance. So I know that I'm going to support what you've done. I don't like it, and I think a lot of people here don't like it.
Right.
We don't like that you did it knowing you were breaking code, and I don't like that you're trying to put yourself and you're using disabled, and I just don't like how you're holding yourself tonight. I just want to say that out loud, and I would highly recommend, you're welcome to say something, but I would recommend you don't, because you have me on the edge right now.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
Billy, go ahead.
Okay, we're going to move to vote. As motion and seconded, all those in favor of that motion as read, say.
The motion to recommend denial.
The motion to recommend denial to regional planning. All those in favor of the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Hold your hands up for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that it? Can somebody just confirm 5? 1.
I see 6.
Dorothy, hold it back up.
I see
1,
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6. You're right. Okay.
All those opposed to the denial, say nay. Say nay. Hands up. So So we
One,
have-
two, one, vote, 1, 2, 3,
You
4,
are allowed to abstain.
6.
You are allowed to abstain.
Chris,
Yeah,
if you-
that's right. So we have 6. Can you tell? I think we have 6. Can somebody double count that for me, please?
Okay. 6.
Chris,
Okay.
hold your hand up.
I can't see it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.
Any abstentions?
Reggie, you voted, are you abstaining and voting?
No,
Okay.
I'm not abstaining. Just
Okay.
making sure you got the count right.
Okay.
Well, there should be,
Any abstentions now?
there should be
No
13.
abstention.
There should be 13 of us,
Alan
right?
had to leave.
Who?
Alan had to leave.
Oh, Alan left. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
he
So,
doesn't have
so
to
it's
leave.
6-6, and Billy, you get to break the tie.
Look
Yep.
at you, Billy.
12, hold on. We have 12 minus Victoria is 13, minus Alan is 14, minus 15. We have one person that never voted.
Time.
What?
Who never voted? There's one person didn't vote.
Billy's got the math.
Oh,
Dr.
I'm not
Thomas?
sure. 3, 4, 5,
Thomas,
6,
you voted?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Dr. Thomas
12,
voted.
13, 14. There are 14 people on here, right? 1, 2, 3,
Maybe she didn't see
4,
it
5,
because my hand was here.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 14 of us on here right now.
Yes, and there was 12
And
votes
you
given.
didn't vote. That's
Yep.
13. And Alan didn't vote.
Reggie.
Reggie.
I did-
Reggie abstained, right?
No,
No, I
he
didn't abstain.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, Reggie doesn't come into it. He's not here. The count of council members right now is 14, without
Right.
Reggie, and without Victoria.
You see my
I
hand?
don't vote, which is 13. We have 12 votes on the table, so we're
What
missing.
do you mean Reggie's not here? I'm right here.
No,
What are you
he
talking
said
about?
that wrong, Reggie. Don't let him confuse you.
I think
I
you
don't want
didn't
it.
see Dr.
He meant
Thomas's
Alan.
hand. Dr. Thomas's
Dr.
hand,
Thomas?
you didn't see her hand. Her hand
Ah.
didn't get
I was
counted.
here. Can you see me?
No,
No.
can't see.
No.
Sorry about that. Hey.
Okay,
How
let's
did you
do it
vote?
again. If you remember what your vote was, please repeat it. All those for the yay vote to approve denial, raise your hand and let me see your hands.
Sandra, is your hand up?
Yes. Dr. Thomas.
I had it up too high.
All right.
One,
So
two,
1,
three,
2, 3,
four,
4,
five,
5,
six.
6, 7.
7.
Right? Wait.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
that's correct.
Okay. So it's 7-6. So we're going to recommend denial. Thank you. So that's
All
all I have, right?
Yeah. That's it. That's all
Okay.
3.
Back to the agenda.
Sorry, Diane. I had my hand up too high.
Right.
What
Okay.
about the motion you brought in initially, Diane? What is, we
That
do anything
did
with
not
that?
have, that did not have a second.
It had a second and the second was withdrawn. And it wasn't represented, re-represented. Represented.
Where are we now?
So, okay. Moving on, item 7, general public comments.
Hi.
Dorothy?
Sorry. That was, you guys can hear me? Hello?
Yep.
So I received 2.5 public comments. So I will read the first one. Hello, it says. Sench Neighborhood Association wants to let the Altadena Town Council know that we are very pleased with our 2 representatives, Daryl Aranda and Veronica Jones. Veronica has always made an effort to attend our monthly meetings pre-COVID when we held them at hosting neighbors' homes and during COVID, and we segued to virtual teleconference meetings. Since Daryl's election, he has started attending our meetings. We are very fortunate to have such well-informed representatives serving our census tract 4610. Thank you in advance, Nina Ellig, Chairperson Sench. Also, I received a notice So this is kind of an update notice. If you recall, the Cougar Conservancy's Conflict Task Force investigated a report of a dead cougar found near a popular hiking trail in the San Gabriel Mountains during the month of March. Unfortunately, due to the post-mortem state, the cause of death was unable to be determined. We appreciate the many residents of Altadena that reached out to us for an update on this matter. We would like to extend our appreciation to the Altadena Town Council and the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. And shared with me, we want to recognize Altadenan Rebecca Schmidt. The Altadena Mass Project was founded in April 2020 when the pandemic first hit and personal protective equipment was hard to come by. Initially, the effort was a small scale with volunteers supplying masks to local grocery stores in Altadena. Soon after, the team of community volunteers grew and began to distribute them throughout the medical community and to other frontline workers. Special thanks goes out to the efforts and leadership of Ms. Schmidt. The Altadena Mask Project thrived and ultimately had over 80 volunteers at its peak, making and distributing thousands of masks. That concludes public comment.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Item 8, census tract reports. Item 4601. And I'm going to 4601. This is what was added on there by Councilmember Knapp, and she just texted to me in between. I will read what she texted me. The community and fellow council members, Friday night, 5/21, Grocery Outlets Food Truck Friday event will be supporting Blair Middle and High School Aquatics in their effort to raise $17,000 for a swim timing system. 150 Blair students live in Altadena and would appreciate your support. 10% of the proceeds will go towards this. There will be a bake sale as well as 3 to 9 p.m. in the grocery outlet parking lot. And I just want to point out that Blair is a part of, for those maybe who aren't aware, that Blair High School is one part of Pasadena Unified School District and is one of their 4 high schools. One of their 4 high schools. So anyway, so that will be also to support one of our public schools that services Altadena. Okay, moving on. Item 4603.01.
Thank you so much. Time flies. So I have 2, but my computer just froze. So I am announcing that we're going to be having it's really open to everyone, but this will be a community meeting on June 2nd. At 6 p.m. This will be a community meeting co-hosted by LA County Public Works with the plan to cover the Cheney Trail operation at the gate. And also LA County will be sharing their tentative project schedules on road improvements on Cheney and Loma Alta. Both of those are in the early planning phase. And as you heard, LA County Fire will also be attending. And then the 5-step neighborhood action kit will be kind of sharing some information there. Again, that was from LA County Office of Emergency Management. And we'll also be talking about the no parking and parking signs related to Cheney Trail. So sorry, that was long-winded. And then I have a reminder from the farmers market. The farmers market again is still pre-order online, afm-subscription.com. Shopping starts Thursday through Saturday. Again, it is still in a online phase and they're looking to find their way to hybrid, which will be online pickup and also shopping. So stay tuned for those details. And the Altadena Farmers Market always looks for volunteers. So if you'd like to volunteer, you can get some free fruits and vegetables. So you can contact Stacy at altadenafarmersmarket@gmail.com. That's it. That concludes my census tract or our census tract report.
I have a question, Dorothy, if I may. You mentioned volunteering at the farmers market as an option. During this pandemic, a lot of the high school students, they have to get their community service hours, volunteer hours. And during the pandemic, that's been minimum, but they've actually been able to complete their high school community service hours. Is that an option that they could actually gain their community service hours through the farmers market by volunteering? Because that would be very useful for our high school students.
Yes, there are definitely high school students can volunteer, and there's some sort of system of liability that Stacy has them sign off on, but definitely.
Okay. So anyone that's listening, if your high schooler is short on community service hours, please take that consideration. And if you need more information, contact Council Member Wong.
Yeah. Also, the EBT, CalFresh options are available at the market. So we're pretty lucky there. So people can get fresh vegetables and fruit.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. We're going to move on to our last item.
I move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. That was very proactive there. A second, Councilmember Jones. All those in favor? Say aye.
Bye.
Hey, Billy,
Yeah.
real quick, there is a meeting. I don't know if you talked about this, Dot. There is a meeting on Wednesday, May 19th, this Wednesday from 6 to 7 regarding Eaton Canyon and the changes that are being made. Did we bring that up?
Yeah, but you can remind us again.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. As long as it's posted and I just missed it maybe then. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Dorothy brought it up during the corresponding secretary's report at the beginning.
It's
My
on the
bad.
website,
Sorry.
AltadenaTownCouncil.org.
Yeah, and you can find it on the website. All right, well, thanks ever so much, everybody. We are adjourned.
This has been a fun one.
Appreciate your time.